How's everyone doing today on this fine Wednesday? Alright, I don't know what is going on with my audio. I don't know if it's crackling on your end, but I might have like a psychotic break if it continues. 'Cause I keep on hearing it crackling. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I want to start. I know people with, hang on, this is gonna sound so like I have a black friend. I know people with cancer, okay? I know people that have recovered from cancer. I'm not unfamiliar with how serious of a disease that cancer is, and I understand that it's like very sensitive, and a lot of people everywhere are also always affected by cancer, okay? I don't mean to make light of the illness of cancer, okay? What I want to make fun of is very explicitly the geriatric Democratic Party that is all suffering from cancer. Literally. Gerry Connelly died. Like, over AOC. Oh my god, I don't know what's happening with my computer. Did it just go out? Okay. I think I'm back. I'm so sorry. I got a Wi-Fi extender to try and make this work better, and I think I just fucked everything up when I was messing with my Wi-Fi settings. I don't know. I'll figure it out later when I get out of work today. I don't have time for this right now. Democratic Representative Gerry Connolly of Virginia has died at the age of 75 after a battle with esophageal cancer. Connolly served as the top Democrat on the House Committee of Oversight and Government Reform until late last month. Oh, I'm sorry. Was it the Oversight Committee? Did I say Judiciary? My bad. My bad. I misspoke. If it was the Oversight Committee. Either way, gypped AOC. Yeah. Connolly had been elected to that leadership role over a challenge from Progressive Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It is with immense sadness that we share a devoted and loving father, husband, brother, friend, and public servant, Congressman Gerald E. Connolly, passed away peacefully at his home this morning, surrounded by family. I'm glad that he was surrounded by family. My heart goes out to them. My heart goes out to you. Fuck, that was a bad joke. I'm sorry. First, Biden has cancer. Biden has prostate cancer. Okay, it's not like there should be no public official, okay, that has any, sorry, how do I word this without coming across too ageist? I am ageist, but how do I not be too ageist? If you have, if you are mandated by your insurance company to get a health risk annual physical when you go in instead of a regular annual physical, you should not be in government, okay? If you need a higher risk annual physical when you make your doctor's appointment, you shouldn't be anywhere near government. You shouldn't be leading people. People shouldn't be relying on you for anything because you're old as fuck and you can die. Sorry. First elected to Congress in 2008, Connolly was known in the House for his fierce advocacy on behalf of the thousands of federal employees who lived in his Northern Virginia district. A gregarious person, Connolly. I need to be better with vocab words. Gregarious. See, why is this so slow? This was supposed to make my internet faster. I'm upset.
Gregarious.
Nine times out of 10, this speech to text is normal, and then on the 10th time, it sounds so sexual.
Gregarious.
Why does it sound, why am I being seduced?
Gregarious.
On Wednesday morning, the House Rules Committee paused its contentious meeting on President Donald Trump's massive tax bill and held a moment of silence in Connelly's honor to stop and say a prayer for his family. Please take some time. I appreciate that Republicans aren't so far gone that we're cheering for the death of representatives. If this was Adam Schiff, I don't know if it would be the same story. If this was Adam Kinzinger, I don't know if this would be the same story. But Gerry was a fighter. His sharp mind, boundless energy, and deep commitment to the people of Northern Virginia made him a force to be reckoned with. He met every challenge with tenacity and purpose, including his final battle with cancer. If this man was dying of cancer, why was he in office? Why was he led? Why was he being paraded around? And can you stop? Can you stop? Gerry lived his life to give back to others and make our community better. No, Gerry probably started as politics that way, but Gerry ended his life grasping onto power, refusing to give up any ounce of influence that he had, and fucking over the Democratic Party in the process. Sorry. I know nothing about this man other than the fact that he gypped AOC. Let me clarify that, okay? This is entirely a critique on the geriatricness of the Democratic Party. I think 45 people have died, 45 Congress members have died since 2000, I think, in office. And of those 45, 30 of them were Democrats. That is 2-to-1 ratio of Democrats having geriatric old farts in office over young, lively individuals. Like myself. No, I'm just kidding. I would never run for office. Various Democrats call for investigation into Musk's bid to help build Trump's $500 million... Oh, wait, hang on. Wrong article. Sorry. Okay. Now that Gerry Connolly has died, that means there's an open seat in Virginia. Normally, I don't... Actually, like 6, 7, 8 months ago, there would be some contentions here, okay? There would be some worry. Like, are we gonna be able to fulfill the Democratic seat with another Democrat? Like, is there a chance that the seat's gonna be flipped? Considering that Florida had a 15-point swing in the Democratic direction for this past special election. Okay, I think that our Virginia seat is safe and sound. Okay. Democrat Sam Sutton. Oh wait, so anyways, this is proof of that, okay? New York flipped a lot. I think it was like 4 or 5 congressional seats. Thank you so much, Lincoln, for the $5. I think it was 4 or 5 congressional seats from Republican to Democrat, my very own district being one of them, okay? Shout out to Laura Gillen. Actually, not shout out to Laura Gillen. She's kind of don't know. I've definitely called her office, I'll say that. But this is just proof that we're heading in the right direction, okay? This is things that we want to see. I get dejected sometimes seeing all of these headlines over and over again of like, oh my god, Trump's doing another unconstitutional thing. Wow, phenomenal. Just another day, just another day in life. But the more that you see people voting the more that you see constituents voting officials out of office, the more that we can count on the actual fundamental not democratic because it's a republic. I feel like a lot of people were very dejected this last election, and so you saw lower voter turnout. The fact that we are now voting people out of office in response to everything that's going on, the fact that people are now more lively and more proactive and insurgent on using their vote, and the fact that people think that their vote matters now is good, and it's a step in the right direction, because what Donald Trump wants you to think is that there's going to be no free and fair elections in 2026, 2028. But that's not true. Democrat Sam Sutton has won a special election for New York State Senate seat, repelling Republican efforts to flip the conservative-leaning district, according to Decision Desk HQ. This seat was formerly held by a Democrat, yes, but it was held by a Republican Democrat. And what I mean by that is she caucused with the GOP. So she was a Republican. She's like a Republican Democrat. This district includes a heavily Orthodox Jewish area, and Sutton has close ties to the Sephardic community as co-leader of the Sephardic community. It's the Jews. /J.
I'm gonna come.
Sutton's main policy priorities include promoting community-based approaches to public safety, increasing school funding, and clean energy initiatives. Woohoo! This victory represents a unified voice for calling positive change across our diverse district, and I am eager to get to work ensuring our constituencies' pressing issues are solved, he said. From tackling anti-Semitism to expanding economic development and improving public safety, I'm looking forward to working with my future colleagues in the Senate to advocate for the people of South Brooklyn and all New Yorkers. This is good news. You know, it's not good news. The fact that Republicans see this shit and they're trying to counteract it, okay? That whole little monologue that I gave about how good it is that people are now using their vote people are using their vote to vote people out of power that are not doing what they intended to and what they promised to. Republicans see that, and they're preemptively purging Democrats off of the voter registration rolls to ensure a Republican majority. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is so slow right now. This is actually really infuriating because I just got an extender that's supposed to make this shit faster. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. Okay. First of all, this voter purging, voter suppression techniques have been showing up far. Thank you so much, Lincoln, for the $10. Stop giving me money. Was this the same Lincoln? Don't give me more money. Use that on your family, bro. I'm just kidding. I really appreciate it. Why is this not loading? Okay. These voter suppression tactics have been going on in the Republican Party because they know that, listen, when you know that you have literally nothing on your side other than delusions and cult-like mentality, when facts aren't on your side, when you know that if people knew the truth and were aware of reality, that they would flip over to the other side immediately, it's very, very easy for you to preemptively adjust for that, account for that, and silence any dissenters that, or like remove any possibility of anyone finding otherwise. And that's why, instead of just actually trying to campaign and win elections and talk to voters and understand voters and what voters want and make voters happy on what they're doing, after seeing that Florida switched from plus 30 to plus 15 in the two special elections, Miami-Dade now has suspiciously more Republicans for the first time ever than Democratic voters. Miami. The Miami-Dade County, long considered a stronghold of the Democratic Party, has officially shifted to the Republican Party. This change solidifies the Republican advantage of the state in 59 of the state's 67 counties. On Monday, media outlets reported that the Republican Party has gained an advantage in active registrations, with 464,000 compared to 440,000 Democrats and 460 others, okay? This shift was driven by a cleanup of the voter roll that removed 172,000 inactive voters. However, later that same day, the Miami-Dade elections supervision's office clarified Democrats, don't worry, Democrats still have a lead, okay? Democrats at 555, Republicans at 514. But in terms of the active voters, the key distinction lies in the category of active, where it is Republicans in the lead, 449 to 414. Considerable number of voters were classified as inactive for not having participated or responded to notifications in the past 4 years. 140,000 Democrats, 65,000 Republicans, blah, blah, blah. Now, is it the case that these Democrats were actually really, like, inactive, and they just actually, like, Miami just does have more inactive Democrats than Republicans? Maybe. But isn't it weird? Isn't it weird? Governor DeSantis highlighted the turnaround as an unthinkable event a decade ago. 10 years ago, Miami-Dade was a deeply Democratic county with hundreds of thousands more Democratic voters than Republicans. Today, with over 2.8 million residents, it has a Republican advantage in voter registration. No one would have predicted this. I want to fact check this and see if this is actual. What is, like, the average amount of voters that get purged during voter purge? Reality check. Democratic numbers are much more problematic. Party affiliation in Florida. This is something unusual. Between January and July, almost 48,000 people switched their party affiliation from Democrat to Republican. Around 77,000 other voters switched from other parties to Republican. Oh. Despite Democrats' claims that they're being disproportionately removed from voter rolls, Democrats and Republicans seem to be getting removed at proportional rates. Okay, fine. It's not a story. Whatever. I still think it's weird. Voter registration is non-fungible. That's definitely not how that's pronounced. Fungible. The third-party voter registration that are still around are effectively giving you a QR code to do so online. While there's been a drop amongst voter registrations in all parties, Democrats have been hit, especially. Okay, I agree that. Okay, I know that there was a whole conspiracy about, like, 2 million or something votes that were lost in the past 2024 election with Kamala. I don't buy into all of that. I think it is really possible that there were just really disillusioned, unenthusiastic Democrats that just didn't go out and vote, okay? But this is more suspicious to me. Just because we just saw the special election go, oh wait, this is from 2024. Wait, I'm so dumb. I'm retarded. This isn't recent. Fuck you. Am I still right? Maybe. I don't know. No, Republican voters technically don't outnumber Democrats in Miami-Dade yet. Is this going through the active versus inactive? Okay, fine. Inactive doesn't mean deactivated. They can still go activate themselves. Oh, wait. What is the process for wait, hang on. Are they doing it so that they're marking these voters as, like, inactive, and then there's, like, some type of process that they have to do to reactivate themselves? Because then that is also voter suppression if you're making it intentionally difficult for one party to vote if they are. These are people who, after all these years and all these emails, all these contacts, never got back to us. You're marking them as inactive just because they don't answer your phone calls. I don't answer unknown calls on my fucking phone, okay? Oh, but if they show up on election day, they can vote. Okay, fine. Keeping an eye on this. I'm keeping an eye on this. The total number of voters shifted from active to inactive was actually 351, counting only voters counting only voters listed as active, there are 34,000 more Republicans than Democrats in the county. Jesus Christ. Isn't it weird? I want to start making the I'm saying this like half ironically, okay? There was a shift that happened in the Democratic Party, not even in just like politics, where every conspiracy theorist, every batshit crazy flat earther, every person that thinks that 9/11 was an inside job, they're all on the Republican side now. Like pretty much for the most part, they're all on the Republican side now. Every conspiracy theorist, every batshit crazy person, every schizophrenic, it's all on Republican side. And I don't think that that's healthy. Well, it's obviously not healthy for the Republicans, but I don't think that that's healthy for the Democrats, okay? We need to be more skeptical. Like, bring back conspiracies in the Democratic Party. This is my conspiracy. My conspiracy is that there's voter registration purges happening around the country to systematically disenfranchise or make it difficult for Democratic voters to vote in the next midterm cycle because they're seeing the sentiments in the voters and they know that they're going to get voted out. I'm not coping. Okay. Anyways, Jake Tapper is pissing off pretty much everyone in the progressive liberal older world. Now, I'm 19 years old. Jake Tapper doesn't mean shit to me. Like, I don't literally just no one. Rachel Maddow, also zero, like, it doesn't really hold that much weight to me, okay? So when I heard that he came out with a book, I was like, oh, cool. Nice, solid. But everyone's got their panties in a twist over it. Jon Stewart did a bit about it, where he basically attacked Jake Tapper. Okay, this is my understanding of it. Jake Tapper wrote a book called Original Sin. It came out yesterday. It's basically a collection of a fuck ton of interviews with different Biden officials and different Biden staff members and whatever, and it's basically this whole great big analysis on everyone that knew that Joe Biden was cognitively gone and still decided to have him run for president anyways. Not that there's anything.
Man, my name is Jon Stewart. What a program we have designed.
Okay, so he had released this book with all of these different interviews, right? And from what I gather, it seems like people are just mad at him for not releasing this earlier. Like, it's just the capitalist agenda. He just wants to commoditize and monetize everything that's newsworthy, and instead of stopping the fascists, and fascists is, I don't know, that just seems like my read on it. But all of these interviews happened after the election, so I don't, like, I feel like this is a pretty quick turnaround. Like, it's only been like seven months. It's like a long time for like books to go through like editing and publishing and stuff, and all of if all of these interviews happened after the election, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty like timely. They wrote a narrative of like it was supposed to be like a story of this is the story of how Joe Biden whatever. I don't know.
Designed for you tonight, a bespoke artisanal effort that I think you are going to truly love. And Patrick McGee is going to be here. He is discussing. They call them McGee heads. That's the fandom, the Patrick McGee fandom. Here to discuss his new book about how Apple's actions in China shifted the entire global economy. The book is phenomenal. For a book about Apple, it's banana. That's it's a fruit pun. I don't know about you folks, but me, I'm on the pins and needles. I'm very anxious right now. I'm very nervous, very anticipatory. And it's not about whether Russia and Ukraine will be settled. It's not whether somebody can stop Netanyahu. Somebody, please. It's not whether Taylor's unfriended Blake. I don't know. No, like most people in America.
The Blake Lively drama is so fucking brain dead. Oh my god, it's so fucking every time someone tries to come up to me, talk about the Blake Lively drama, it's I want to slap them like straight across the fucking face. Why do you care about that shit?
I am most looking forward to reading a book. But when? When?
We're back with breaking news in our politics lead and a brand new excerpt from my upcoming book with Axios' Alex Thompson. It's called Original Sin. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's on Biden's decline. It's called Original Sin. I'm sure you've heard on May 20th. That's Tuesday. Original Sin. That's coming out in 3 weeks. On May 20th. That's just 19 days away. In 1 week and 1 day. Coming out in just a few days. Comes out Tuesday. You will not believe what we found out.
Okay, that was funny. Obviously, he's gonna promote the book that he wrote. I mean, come on. Does anyone think that news anchors are actual, like, hard-hitting journalists? I feel like it's pretty much, like, did I go off on this on another live? I feel like I went off on a rant about how I used to laugh at meteorologists because I thought that they were, like, the Chads of the science world of, like, oh, I'm a brain-dead idiot, but I want to sound smart, so I'm gonna become a meteorologist. That's like news anchors. That's in my head. It's like, I'm like the Chad of the, of the journalistic world, and I just want to sit in front of a camera and look pretty all day. You're like David Muir with that news.
Don't news people have to tell you what they know when they find it out? Isn't that the difference between news and a secret? You won't believe what we found out. No, that's why I'm watching. Breaking news in a week. Now, I don't know how the rest.
Okay. I don't know if it was news at that point. I don't mean to, maybe I'm just being a hater. Maybe I'm just being contrarian to everything. Why is everyone so mad about this? If the interviews happened after, that's the caveat. If the interviews all happened after the election, then who cares? If they knew this before the election and before he dropped out. Sorry, actually, I feel like even if it was like in between when he dropped out and the election, I don't know if I would even be that mad still, because what can you even do at that point? Like, the
rest of the country is feeling about this book coming out, but I know New York is hyped. New York City, baby! The city that never stops reading. That's our motto. Our motto is... I'm kidding, of course. That is footage from the reopening of the Frick Museum.
I'm dead.
By the way, it is New York, so you know the real name of the museum is the Collection. They just put it up there like, hey, the friggin' collection? What are we doing here? So what is this bombshell book about?
The new book is outlining new claims about former President Biden's physical and mental health. The book, Original Sin, claims Biden's health had become so severe that there were internal discussions about putting the president in a wheelchair.
He allegedly was napping during debate preparations.
Another bombshell. Former President Biden apparently forgot the name of his longtime aide, Jake Sullivan, and called him Steve.
My God! To be fair, when you forget a white guy's name, to be fair, and I say this with respect to the bombshell, Steve is not a bad guess. I think even Jake Sullivan at some point was like, is my name Steve? Because when I look in the mirror, I could be a Steve.
I feel like I missed something.
You just put it up there like, hey, the friggin' collection? What are we doing here? So what is this bombshell book about?
A new book is outlining new claims about former President Biden's physical and mental health. The book, Original Sin, claims Biden's health had become so severe that there were internal discussions about putting the president in a wheelchair.
He allegedly was napping during debate preparations.
Another bombshell. Former President Biden apparently forgot the name of his longtime aide, Jake Sullivan, and called him Steve.
My God!
Okay, yeah, I did miss it. That's actually really funny. Okay. Oh my God, there's oh my God, I hate to say this is a nuanced take, like, before I give a nuanced take, but that's like, it's very nuanced. If Joe Biden is misnaming people, who the fuck cares? Okay, Donald Trump calls his vice president JP Mandel. Let me find a compilation actually of Donald Trump just like misnaming people. It's not that it's not that I don't think that Democrats should be covering it. It's that I understand that we're in a very, very, very abnormal political time, and it's when one side is playing by the rules and when only one side is playing by the rules. Can you? Oh my God! You spilled my Red Bull! Fuck my cat. Fucking hate this bitch. It's there's some still left. It's a little bit, but I don't even know how'd she do that? What the fuck? Fuck you. How'd you cut it open? Alright. Anyways, what was I saying? I have no clue. Donald Trump forgets everyone's names. Okay, I understand. Democrats want to hold their side accountable because that's what we do, because we're the good guys and we always want to do what's best for the American people. And you know what's not good for the American people? Having a cognitively unfit dipshit of a president. Okay, we actually care about that. I get it, okay? But, the Republicans don't. And at the end of the day, politics is a game of power, unfortunately. So, if it helps you stay in power to not mention these things and to not talk about it, I understand that. But I also understand that this is really fucked and that someone had to, like he should have been out of the election way before that. Way before. So.
To be fair, when you forget a white guy's name, to be fair, and I say this with respect to the bombshell, Steve is not a bad guess. I think even Jake Sullivan at some point was like, is my name Steve? Because when I look in the mirror, I could be a Steve. Or a Scott, maybe a Craig. The point is, the American news media were hungry for more.
A new Biden bombshell.
Dropping bombshell allegations.
A steady drip of new revelations.
Damning claims.
Damaging new details.
Oh my goodness, they're dripping with details. A massive tsunami, the drip on Joe Biden's decline.
My God, Fox News built an entire Biden sucks border wall to hold back the raging drips of details and bombshells. Nothing could slow down this coming.
Wait, oh my God, this is, This is the most infuriating. Hang on. This is exactly what this reminds me of. One of the things that pisses me off so much about Republicans is the fact that they pretend to be principled on shit that they literally do not give a fuck about, okay? So, Biden crime peddling family. Look at how much effort these motherfuckers are able to put into putting together all of these absolutely redonkulous connections. They made an interactive timeline of all of these receipts, okay, tying all of the peddling, all of the crimes of the Biden family, okay, all of the dealings in Belarus, in Ukraine, in Romania, in China, all of them. They're all on this interactive timeline. It's so fucking long. It's so long. Okay. Yet if you ask them, was Donald Trump friends with Epstein? It's literally what are you talking about? What you say? Is Donald Trump a Russian? Russia, stop. Oh my God. Like, you have brain cells. The only excuse that I have with these people is that they're all retarded. That's what I tell myself every day. I wake up and I'm like, you're smarter than everyone else in the world. You're smarter than everyone else in the world. Like, that's everyone else in America, at least. Okay. If you show that you have brain cells, that you have the mental cognitive ability to do all of this, I can't handle it. I can't. Fuck you. Just fuck you.
Feeding news frenzy about Biden's cognitive health, other than maybe a report on his actual physical health, which was not good. But now we got ourselves a little problem. You've prepared an entire smorgasbord, charcuterie board. You know what I'm talking about, meat and cheese. You know what I'm talking about. Entire smorgasbord based on what you thought would be a relatively uncomplicated story about mental decline. News has the countdown clock. They got the book graphics. They got the CNN Happy Meal tie-in toys. But now, doing the story seems almost disrespectful. Can CNN thread the needle? How do you pivot from excitedly promoting your anchor's book to somberly and respectfully promoting your anchor's book?
Biden's health was very much in the news even before the cancer diagnosis was announced on Sunday. That's because of a new book by CNN's Jake Tapper.
This was already going to be a tough week, and this makes it much harder. And that is a reference to the fact that our colleague, Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson, have a book that's set to publish on Tuesday.
This very tough news, this very challenging news, and at the same time,
Oh my God, I don't know what's going on with this fucking volume. I don't know what's going on. Oh my God. Freakadelic, thank you so much for the $5, and thank you so much for giving me an excuse to say Freakadelic. This was the compilation that I was trying to find of Donald Trump saying people's names wrong. If it wants to load.
You know, Nikki Haley, you know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything, deleted and destroyed all of it.
Guys, I'm gonna figure out this lag. I'm gonna figure out why my computer is acting like this right now, okay? I promise it will be better tomorrow. It won't be this laggy. It won't be this low quality. I'm so sorry.
I think you should take a cognitive test like I did. I took a cognitive test and I aced it. Doc Ronnie Johnson. Does everyone know Ronnie Johnson, congressman from Texas? He was the White House doctor. How good did Elise Stepanek do? You know, we've endorsed Dr. Oz. We've endorsed JP, right? J.D. Mandel, and he's doing great. Jimmy Connors is good. These are all so happy.
Mike Bolton, John Bolton is here. Mike Bolton, as you know, is in Russia. And there was progress today. I look forward to solving it.
Thank you, Steve. It was Trump's fault. It's always Trump's fault. Can it ever be like Rick Gates' fault? I mean, It's always Trump's fault, Rick.
By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything?
Nope, it's not. I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna fix my computer. I'm gonna fix my computer and then I'll be back later tonight. I'm gonna kill myself if I have to continue like this. Like everything is so slow. Everything is so, I can't do this right now. Okay. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I'm so sorry. I love you all.